Well, twice during that war, I was invited by a humanitarian organization to travel to Bosnia and to Croatia, once actually with Steve. But that was the ground zero of that war at that time. And although I felt too confused and broken to have anything to offer to anybody at that time, especially to people who were suffering, I decided to go. And as that turned out, I think that my internal brokenness at that time opened me in a profound way to the brokenness around me. It was the first time I'd seen war up close, and I was stunned and devastated by what human beings can do to one another. I met widows who had lost everything: their husbands, their homes, their livelihood, their friends, their hope. I met children who were so traumatized by seeing their parents die when shells landed right inside their houses that these little kids just sat in school all day and chewed their fingernails and just stared into space. It was the only little bit of control that they had. And I walked through an entire city park that had been turned into a cemetery filled completely with the war dead. The date of death and every gravestone was between the years of 94 and 96. The day before I left to come home from that trip, I just went off by myself and climbed to the top of a hill that overlooked the countryside of Bosnia. And I sat there for hours and wept and prayed for the women and the children that I'd seen, for the widows and the orphans and the traumatized and the displaced, for so many suffering people. And while I prayed, an unbidden question started echoing in my mind. Am I my sister's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper? And the reverberating answer was yes. Yes, yes, you are your sister's keeper. And so I asked, well, then who is my sister? God, who is my sister? And I so clearly sense God say this. They are all your sisters. They're Croatian Catholics, the Serbian Orthodox, the Bosnian Muslims. They and every other woman you will ever meet are all your sisters. And every man you will ever meet is your brother. Because whether they know it or not, they are all part of the human family that I have created. And I love them. I learned that when you open your mind and your heart to God and to the world, you end up with a huge family. And you realize that every single member of the family is as important to God as you are, or as your kids are, or as your grandchildren are. And you can't possibly meet the need of every family member, but you can never dismiss their needs thoughtlessly, because they're family. And that realization has ambushed me over and over again. I'll be standing on a street corner somewhere, surrounded by strange music and a strange language, and by clothes and culture and religion very different from mine. And I think, oh yeah, these are my people. This is my family. And I can't begin to explain how that realization has changed the way I listen to the news, the way I pray, the way I spend my money, the way I travel, where I travel. Distance doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter. If there's trouble in the world, it's touching my family.